Good morning, this is Kat. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is the start of my first vlog, and if you missed the announcement video, go ahead and look at the previous video that I did post, but I am going through an Advent challenge, and I already opened number 1 in that video. And so number 1, basically the prompt was, "O come all ye faithful," so that was the first line, and the prompt was to read from a faithful favorite author. And I picked one of my favorite authors, and my husband looked at my favorite authors list and picked one for me. And what was chosen was his pick, and that is The Fairest Beauty by Melanie Dickerson. So this is going to be the first book that I will be reading for this vlog. So like I said, this is day 1, and it's actually later in the day. Had a late morning, but that's okay. I'm not quite decked out in like Christmas attire because it's literally the Saturday after Thanksgiving over here in the United States, but I do have my little earrings. They're like hearts with angel wings, and this was a gift from a friend at church, and she actually gifted me my first like Christmas bracelet that I will wear later on through the series. So she's just a sweet lady. I thought this was just the touch to wear for right now before I put on, Christmas attire once December hits. Anyway, and as you can see, I'm also in a very messy room. We're in the process of decorating our house for Christmas. I'm super excited for that. My husband and I are both teachers, so we actually started decorating the outside of our house early during Thanksgiving break. It just worked out better for us because traditionally we used to decorate after Thanksgiving, and now we found that it just becomes a little more stressful, especially since we go back to work on that Monday, or rather he does. So we decided to decorate early this year, and that just helped a lot better. Now the indoors, we're decorating today, but like trying to do outdoor and indoor is just very stressful. But that is a question for you. Do you guys set up for Christmas before Thanksgiving if you live in the United States, or celebrate Christmas? But do you guys decorate before Thanksgiving? Or do you guys have to wait till after Thanksgiving to decorate? I would love to know that. My husband loves to get in the Christmas spirit pretty early on in November, and I'm the one who actually says wait till after Thanksgiving. But we had a healthy compromise there. So anyway, that's the question, and just let me know throughout the video what you guys typically do. So anyway, you might see some clips of us decorating indoors. I might also just edit and do another video for my journaling channel. So in case you missed the announcement, I have started a separate channel which is all about creative journaling, and I only have 2 videos up currently, and those are flip throughs of my first ever journals that I've created. And they are bullet journal centered, but they also have like other like faith elements in there and collections. And I do go a little bit more I guess personal in those. So that's what I have currently right now, but I'm hoping that channel kind of grows into more of like creative journaling and other stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, you can go and check it out. It's called Just Be, and I wrote what that special motto means to me, and that's going to be in the description of that new channel. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some lunch and do my grocery shopping, and then even start in this and try to tab through it. I'm expecting to get done with this within the week, so I'm excited. Oh, in case you don't know what this is a Snow White retelling, and this is Christian fiction, and so it's set in the world of the Beauty and the Beast retelling that Melanie Dickerson did write in the second book in the series. But you don't have to read them in order. I just personally like to read books in order, but you can read this out of order. So I'm excited about Snow White. Snow White is actually my Disney princess, in terms of what my grandmother referred me to, and so it does have a special meaning, and I like retellings. So all right, I will see you guys in the next clip. This is our table of Christmas items. So we're putting everything on this table. Okay, welcome to the second segment, I guess. I am going to figure out these lights and angles at one point, but it is 7 o'clock. I spent the whole day, well, not the whole day. I did go grocery shopping, but I did spend majority of the day decorating. As you can kind of see above me right here, this is like our Christmas countdown. Let me see if I can. There. So it's like our little Christmas countdown that we had there. And then I showed some clips of some of the decorations that we did put up. And this has probably been the most cozy feeling Christmas decor that I have put up so far. So I'm actually very proud of what I've accomplished, and so maybe throughout the vlogging I'll try to put a lot more of what we did. But I did read a couple of chapters, 3? I think I'm on chapter 3, yeah. So literally just 2 chapters of this. I like how fast it starts. You meet an older woman who basically gives a secret with her dying breath about this girl named Sophia who is still alive, and she's some sort of royalty, and she is betrothed to this duke, and everyone thought she was dead, but she's actually not. She's actually a scullery maid under this wicked duchess. And then we get thrown into Sophie's story, and you see the way she is being treated by this evil duchess, who's also says to have magic. And basically Sophie is trying to be the good maid, the good servant to the duchess, because she has the Lord and she knows that she should not repay evil with evil. And so she really does her best in walking in, not sinning in anger or to retaliate. And we just see that she's getting unfair treatment. So that's where we left off, is that she's in the dungeon, and basically the person, he is the hunter for the queen, like he's part of her guard, promises that he's going to try to get her out, and she's very leery of him because she doesn't trust him, because he is young and she doesn't know what his intentions are towards her. She knows his reputation, so she's very leery about it, but she also doesn't want to stay in the dungeon. So we'll see where that leads off. So, my thoughts so far on the book, I will be honest, I was a little bit distracted reading the first 2 chapters just because it's just been so much of a busy day. So it's been hard to kind of read. But I do plan on reading later tonight. We have Christmas cookies baking right now, and we're just going to enjoy an evening of just kind of quietness. And so, yeah. So I will talk to you in another segment. So it is Sunday the next day, and I'm trying to film right before we go to church. So, which is why I look a little done up. But I wanted to quickly go over a little bit more of this book, and this is where I got, which is chapter 6, and so I'm not really sure if I had mentioned before about the other character, so I'm just going to go ahead and go through that character right now. But we are not only following Sophie, we're following Gabe. And Gabe is the son of the Duke of Hangenheim. I think that's how you say the word. But essentially his parents are Rose and Wilhelm, and I think I got it wrong in my other video, but Rose and Wilhelm are actually the couple in the first book in this series, and they are the couple in the Sleeping Beauty retelling. I think I said it was the Beauty and the Beast one, but no, Sleeping Beauty. And so Gabe is their son, and he is basically the second son, and he is a little bit irresponsible. So he is going to find out if Sophie is indeed the lost daughter of Duke Baldwin, and he feels this urge to go and rescue her. One, really because he wants to prove to his parents that he is not irresponsible. He is not just this like second to his older brother, who is actually like the perfect heir, I guess. The brother is injured right now in bed, and it was due to a tournament that he was involved in, but like he's very much warrior status, and so Gabe wants to prove to his parents that he can indeed be serious and be this warrior. The only problem is that this is his brother's betrothed, if indeed Sophie is who the lady says who she is. So Gabe goes and he kind of defies his parents in a way by going help rescuing her. So initial thoughts with that. I typically do not like books dealing with love triangles. I feel like this book is where it's going, but also knowing that Gabe is as well as betrothed because he is, you know, the son of a duke, and then him going and saving his brother's betrothed. I feel like it's a really messy situation. So typically I don't like books like that. However, right now I don't feel bothered by it. So we'll just have to see where the story goes with that. So I'm just saying that right off the bat there. But I am liking the way the story is going in terms of Melanie is making it her own, and I am really excited about that because it's different. So at least different from what I've read in these retellings. So the part where we are on is that they just met, and Sophie doesn't trust, you know, him. She has no trust with men, and that's kind of where we are in the story. And I'm trying not to like give a lot away in my reviews. So you know, there are other things that are happening there, but that is like the gist of the storyline. So anyway, I am about to set off for church, and I will see you guys in another segment. Little Christmas shopping. It doesn't show signs of stopping. I changed my seating arrangement so I could have the tree in the background. It's beautifully decorated. No ornaments are on it yet. We're gonna do that later, but I always change my seating around the holidays. I'm curious, do y'all move around your furniture during the holiday season, or do y'all just kind of decorate around it? I would like to know. I am definitely someone who would rearrange furniture to fit what I'm feeling for the holiday season. So we like to show our tree right here in the front of the house, and then our seating chairs are facing towards the tree because it's just cozy to me. So we have that, and I know I moved my bookcase a little bit, so maybe I'll show that in the video at some point. But anyway, after church, we did have people over. So we're going through a study called Discover Your God-Given Gifts by Don and Katie Fortune. And we're going through it with a group of friends from church, and today was our first meeting. So it's just going through the scheduling about when we'll all meet, which we're looking at meeting every Sunday after service. Everybody will just bring lunch, and we will have it at my house, and we'll go over through the spiritual gifts. So that's very exciting. So we got a lot of good feedback about it. Everybody seems excited about it. And then afterwards, my sister and I went to go do some Christmas shopping, and now it's like later this evening. So I did pick this up. I am on page 104, which is chapter 8. Side note, if you hear anything happening in the kitchen, my husband's doing dishes right now, so you might be hearing water in pots and pans. Anyway, so last we left off in this book, I did say that I don't really enjoy books dealing with love triangle type of books. Yeah, so I think that's where we left off last. And I am still enjoying the book despite that little thing. We get to see a little bit more of Gabe's character and how he was shaped through life experiences, and then we get a little bit more of the villain, and she we just kind of get more of like descriptions of her, and she definitely is very vile. And then we get Sophie, and Sophie, I will say that she is different than most of the Snow White retellings that I have read before. Like, her character is different, and I enjoy that. I enjoy seeing a little her weaknesses in certain things, but also like she does struggle with being angry sometimes, and I actually enjoy seeing that more of that humane part of her. Some of the Snow White's retellings that I have seen, they don't seem to struggle with moral imperfections. At least not the ones that I read or that I can remember. I appreciate that in the book because it is relatable, so to speak. The book is also very fast-paced. It's just how the plot is progressing. it's a big moment that's happening right now. You kind of know what's gonna happen, but you kind of don't, because it's like if you follow along with like the retelling aspect, like like kind of what's gonna happen next, but at the same time you don't know like how Melanie is going to write in other parts of the story. I guess if that's making sense or not. But that is all for right now. And again, if you hear noise, my husband's cooking dinner and I'm gonna go help. But afterwards, I do plan on reading a bit more. My goal is to get to the halfway mark tonight and update you guys in the morning. But I'm actually doing very well considering that it's day 2 with this book. And usually Melanie Dickerson books takes me like 3 days at most to read. So pretty soon, once I get to that halfway mark, I'm actually going to open the second box on my Advent calendar, so that way we could see what the activity is. And then my hopes is to be able to do that activity, and while we're doing that activity, I'm also updating you with this book. And I will see you guys probably tomorrow morning. Good morning. It is Monday, November 27th, and I read some more last night, and I am currently on page 167, so chapter 15, and the plot definitely thickens. I mentioned that the story was now hit kind of like a big point, major point, and that it's still like fast going. Essentially, Sophie is now on the run with her brother-in-law, not really because she's not married, but her betrothed's brother, and they are going to seek refuge at the Cottage of the Seven. So again, we kind of see some themes pulled in from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. That's the part where I left off, where they were fleeing to the cottage, and there's some injuries, and there's also like feelings being sparked. And I think at this point, like you really start to get a more of a feel of like those feelings being sparked between her and Gabe. That's the guy's name. So I'm not a big fan of, like I said, with the love triangle, so to speak, or not. It's not really a love triangle at this point because she hasn't met her betrothed, but I guess I'm not a fan of like if someone was promised to someone else, or like they're already in a relationship but yet they're developing emotional feelings with another person. I'm not a very big fan of that. It's just something that I've been like just trekking along through the book. But I do enjoy the characters. Like I mentioned before, Sophie, she's actually struggling with anger, and like I appreciate to see like her humanity in that. And so I did tab a few things I wanted to mention. Like right here, they're talking about, okay, so Sophie is like, I know I shouldn't be upset with the Duchess that has been mistreating her. And when Gabe mentions how he is, angry as well, she says, oh, you need to forgive, you need to forgive. And she's basically concerned for his soul. Like she knows God wants us to forgive. And Gabe says, I will forgive her, but the Lord says vengeance is mine. So he's like, I'm gonna give it to the Lord. And so she's just like, that doesn't sound very like forgiving. Like she's confused, and he basically tells her, it's okay to be angry. And you should forgive her, but you should forgive yourself too if you feel angry and unforgiving sometimes, and like that God would understand and he would help her. And basically quoting like there's now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. And I really liked that part because that was a moment of connection I felt with Sophie. And it's like, you know what is the right thing to do, and yet you try to follow, like, for instance, for this, like, I have been in those shoes of like, oh, I should forgive this person because God says I need to forgive this person, but then I'm struggling with my own feelings of anger. And with that, it's like, okay, so you're struggling with that anger, and then you feel guilty, and then you're just like, oh, but I should forgive. And I like that it was pointed out, like, it's okay to feel angry, and you should forgive yourself for putting yourself down about that, you know? And I guess understanding, like, that difference between being angry and then sinning in your anger, you know. And so I really liked that pointed that out. Anyway, so but I'm halfway through, which means I'm gonna open up the second day. So the second day is the activity prompt, and let's see, we have "O come all ye faithful." So that was the first one. And so the second one is "joyful and triumphant." So this one is a competition, and we're gonna see what my husband and I are gonna be competing in. So let's open number 2. Okay, so I'll try to have you go first. Hopefully it's in the right way. Okay. Oh, Wassel. Did I put these? Oh, I'm sorry. This is not the competition one. Oh, okay. So I confused myself, which is why I looked at this. No, I'm sorry. So this one was "Come all ye faithful." And so the activity was to create a holiday or faithful holiday treat. So something traditional. So faithful holiday treat. And I got Wassel, which is my husband's pick. Yet again, I picked his. And I will say I am not a Wassel fan, and there's something about, like, hot apple juice, it tastes like hot apple juice to me, and I like apple juice cold, so I don't know, it's just different. And I've only had Wassel once, but I'm willing to try it again. I find that as I'm growing older, I am actually finding that my taste buds, I guess, are changing. So for instance, pumpkin pie, was not a fan of it. Last year I tried it just because I was on this, like, I'm gonna try it again and really see if I like it, and I ended up really liking it last year. Well, again, this year tried eating pumpkin pie, and it was okay. It wasn't, for some reason last year I was like, oh, this tastes so good, and this year it was just okay. Like, I would eat it, but it wouldn't be like my first choice. Anyway, so maybe I will enjoy Wassel, which my husband's actually gonna really like that. So I'm going to have to figure out a recipe, and I will videotape us actually creating this. I will take you on that journey. So today looks like a cleaning day for me and lesson planning day, and so that's basically what I have on my plate, and then maybe help taking care of my nephew for a couple of hours as my sister goes out and has to take care of a few things. And so yeah, that's basically it. Maybe I'll go shopping too to get some ingredients for Wassel, or just make that list later tonight and I can get that on the way home tomorrow. And then hopefully, I think I will have time to finish today. but we'll see because I do need to lesson plan after a week off of school. So I got to plan the next few days or have an idea of what I want to teach. All right, I will talk to you in another segment. Hello. Okay, so I am shiny right now. It is close to 5 o'clock today on Tuesday, and I haven't really updated at all day today because I was at school. So if I look a little disheveled, sorry about that. But I did go Christmassy today at my school. I was inspired by, I guess, Snow White just because of the curly hair, which kind of fits the book. But I did do my bow and my jingle bells that made their appearance again this year. This was a gift last year with matching earrings. So I was feeling Snow White vibe today, and I actually had a student come up to me and was like, "Were you trying to go Snow White?" And she got it. She was the only one. But anyway, where was I? Yeah, so I'm tired. I thought about trying to film during my break time at school, but did not have that. We were actually doing projects, and then my students were presenting their project that they did before break. I also did go and get the ingredients for an apple cider recipe that we found online, and I'll just put a snapshot of what we found, and that looked simple enough. So we're actually going to film making apple cider. I'll see if I can get really like good footage for you because my kitchen lighting is not very good at all. So yeah, but I will film like the finished product and or maybe take a picture and then give you my thoughts. Now, the book. I'm on chapter 22, and this has like another like short section back here of the first book of the series. So it's really like that much left. So we are getting towards, the end. There's a lot of relationship building up right now between the two characters. Definitely are like feeling those romantic thoughts. The next part of the book was just all about the relationship and or majority about the relationship and falling for each other. But I do like that they do mention that one of the characters brings up like, hey, she's promised to your brother and you're promised to another. Is this God's will for you? Like, you have to ask yourself, because it's more than just, having feelings like infatuation. Like, is this actually in God's will, or is this real love? And I'm glad that a character did bring that out, because it was going so fast paced that I was getting the feeling like, are we gonna address any of this? And it has been addressed, so I do appreciate that. And so it does help me wanting to continue, because I just feel like since that character brought it up, that maybe they're going to really kind of deep dive into like, this seems fast, this seems weird, so not hating it. But yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. Of course, like, especially in the movie of Snow White, if you're familiar with that movie, like, there's gonna be like the evil queen in that movie like comes back and like poisons Snow White. So I'm kind of seeing like, are we gonna follow that same theme here? Of course, I probably won't mention that in this video because I'm trying to keep it spoiler free. And I'm just gonna go based off of what the back tells us and my thoughts about it. So I'm hoping to finish this book later tonight. I will see you guys in the next segment. Okay, so me and hubby are sitting here. You actually get to see hubby's face. Okay, so we actually are going to try our wassail. Thank you. I was gonna say apple cider, which is basically what that is. Initial thoughts, smell wise?
Spicy.
Spicy, and I definitely smell that cinnamon. What did you think?
Acidic. Tangy.
Tangy. Do you think I like it?
I have no idea. If you don't like apple pie, maybe not.
It's okay.
Uh-huh.
For me, it's okay. I can definitely... Oh, I feel the acidicness on the tongue. Very acidic.
I like it.
The orange juice, I taste that time. It's okay. It would not be my drink of choice. I like the orange juice. It's just, I don't know.
Hot fruit flavored stuff.
It is. It's very much so.
You don't typically like that.
I typically don't. So,
good thing we have a big pot of it.
yeah, but I mean, I think I drink it in dosages. It's not my drink of choice, but I'm glad you like it because you're gonna drink most of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that was our initial thoughts over it. Hubby likes it, in drinking his in his best science teacher mug, and I have an ugly tiki mug as a wedding present from his brother, who was in Hawaii and brought these back from Hawaii. That was our initial thought, and yeah, that's all. Thanks, hubby. Okay, hello. Again, a different angle in my house. I really wanted to put the tree in for this. It is the next day, and it's Wednesday. And I have my Christmas ornaments, earrings, as well as my comfy sweater, which you can't really see, but it says I'd rather be hibernating. So anyway, it is pretty cold today. But I did share some tips about last night with trying out that wassail. And sorry for the lighting, but you actually got to see my husband, and that was his debut, I guess, on my channel, because he normally doesn't like to be in front of a camera, but he was willing to be debuted, and you can tell that he really enjoyed the wassail, and I did not. His mother actually found out we were making wassail because he did message her about it, and she passed down an old family recipe for us to try some other time, which I am willing to try it out, but it is not a drink that I would typically gravitate to. The one that we made was pretty acidic. I think if we were to make it again, I would tone down on the orange juice, which I like orange juice, but it definitely felt very acidic with it. So there is that. But my husband really enjoyed it. My father ended up having wassail with us as well, and he seemed to enjoy it as well. So anyway, that was fun though. Creating it didn't take super long, maybe about 45 minutes. I mean, it is kind of long, but you could let it simmer, and we were doing other things as it was simmering. But yeah, so we completed the activity, and then this morning I completed Fairest Beauty. Some parts were pretty fast-paced, I will say. Definitely followed the lines around the original Disney movie. However, it's not exactly how it happened, but there were a lot of elements, especially towards the end, where I'm like, oh yeah, I remember the movie having that in it, but how Melanie spun it around, it turned out to be different. Towards the end, I did feel that the things that I liked about Sophie, I was actually starting to not like. And I just felt like at one part in the story, she was a little rude. I just wish she was more forthcoming with the circumstance at the end of the book. And I think it would have helped her case to be a little more innocent, I guess, instead of like her making it a little like worse, I guess. I don't know. These are just raw thoughts. I'm still working through them, but I definitely was not a fan at how Sophie handled a situation towards the end. I felt like it was not handled in the best way. And, you know, it's acknowledged, but I guess I felt like it was quickly like acknowledged and then glazed over and then moving on to the next plot. I definitely will be continuing in the series. Personally, I did not like, as you know, like the relationship and how it started. And that's just my personal preference, and I think that really did altered my view with the book. My favorite so far in the series would have to be the first one, The Healer's Apprentice. Which is funny because the woman in that story is the mother to Gabe, which is the main guy character in here. And so I thought that was pretty cool to see that in here. And I would say the first one is probably my favorite in the series because that's the one that I remember the most, and I felt like more connected in a way with the characters. But this one was still pretty good. And I will pull from this one in the beginning of the next vlog. If this is something that you do like and you're very curious, I will be in the next vlog pulling from here, and then halfway through that I will be pulling from our next activity. So I'm super excited. I'm having fun with this. It's going by fast, but I am hoping you guys are having a great start to your December, because by the time this video comes up, it should be the start of December. Feel free to, leave comments down below. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you in another video. Bye, guys.